Hello, I'm Forrest Keegle and I'm a visual artist, and we're here on Jara country, the home of the Jajawarang people. I'd like to pay my respects to their ancestors from the Everywen and my deep respect for this country that sustains us. We're working on a project called Out of the Box for Multicultural Arts Victoria, MAV, and we're here at the Emporium Creative Hub, where I'll be interviewing 4 amazing artists. So you'll get to learn more about their artistic journey, their cultural roots, what sustains them, and what they're doing creatively. So thanks very much to Regional Arts Victoria for funding this program. It's the culmination of 3 years of funding, and it's a program to showcase regional artists in Bendigo and Shepparton. And enjoy watching and learning more about these artists, because I certainly have. Hey Jed, it's really nice to see you today, and thanks for coming in to have a chat. Would you like to introduce yourself for everyone that's watching and tell us a bit about your creative self?
For sure. So my name's Jed. I am a Bendigo-based artist, and my main practices relate to visual arts, and I'm sort of experimenting a bit with other sort of mediums like leather working, for example, or woodwork, but mainly visual based, like drawing and painting. Yeah.
And when I popped into your studio the other day, you very graciously gave me a print, and all of the other artists. We came for a little visit, and you gave us all a print, which was really generous of you, lino print, and I'm sure they'll show on the screen some visuals of your space and the prints and stuff like that. So, what led you into wanting to draw and create prints?
Yeah, good question. I've sort of always drawn. I mean, like I'm sure every artist says this. Like they've always been drawing, or they've always been painting. But my mum's an artist, and my nan's also an artist, as we discussed previously. So I think, just having that background and just being raised up in learning about colour, learning about form, that kind of stuff. And my dad's. He wouldn't call himself an artist, but he's a deep thinker. Like, he's a creative thinker. He'll really dwell on things for a long time to try and unpack it and dissect it. Yep.
Yeah, I loved it when we talked on the phone and you spoke about your grandmother, who was classically trained as a painter, teaching you colour theory in the garden. Looking at the flowers and whether it was a cool red or a warm red. I mean, that's like such a beautiful way to learn, like, rather than the structure of art school or whatever. So
definitely. Like my nan was a single mum for large stints of her life, and I think she only really took up painting in her 40s, but she's just pursued that so passionately since then. And like you were saying, I've got fond memories of walking around in the garden, and she'd be going, "Now, Jediah, that red over there, is that a cool red or a warm red?" And I'd be going, "I don't know, Nan, I'm 6. A warm red? No, that's a cool red." And, just those sorts of things. And, going over to her place in Myrtleford for holidays and just seeing her art studio and all these different paintings. And, we mentioned how she would sharpen her pencils with a Stanley knife till they were like half graphite, half wood, and just experiencing this whole other side of how you can make art. That was pretty special.
Well, it's beautiful that you followed in her footsteps and found your own creative expression, and you've got your own style of the work that you're producing. It's very recognisably yours. Like when we went to the studio and looked at the group of works hanging up on the wall, I went, "Oh, yep, that'll be Jed." So that's I'd only seen a few photos of what you'd done, and you studied photography at university. At Deakin, and but you've seemed to move away from the camera a bit.
Yeah, so I did photography down in Deakin with, these grand dreams of being a photojournalist, like going to the Middle East or, like rural Australia and, I guess changing the world through that. But I think the more I sort of looked into it and the more I rubbed shoulders with, I guess, the older generation of photojournalists, the less the lifestyle and the work sort of appealed to me. Like it was very much a gig-based economy at the time that I wanted, well, it still is. It's very much a gig-based economy now. And yeah, but I really did enjoy working with film, and I spent hours in the dark room come second and third year. And yeah, I just loved that tactile nature of photography, like working with the chemicals and, trying to sort of bring this magic out of nothing. That was pretty incredible.
Well, you're absolutely right when you say bring the magic out of nothing. It's such an alchemical process when you put a piece of photographic paper in a developing fluid and it magically appears before your eyes. Like it's quite addictive, isn't it?
Oh,
like
definitely.
Just that, and then the different things that you can do to change your exposures and bring out what you want through that process.
For sure. And I think it was that love of that tactile nature. I think that's what drew me back to painting and drawing. And a good friend of mine who's a local artist, Wes Franklin, he's a mural artist and sign writer. That's his speciality. And he sort of took me under his wing, and like he would take me to help out with murals and that kind of stuff. And I mean, when I first started helping him, my brush skills were awful. They were genuinely terrible. But it was that good first step in sort of going back into painting, and that again, the more practical, tactile nature of art making that really appealed to me.
Yeah. No, and it's all about, like, all of those skills, they're learned. Like, people look at something like Wes's beautiful sign writing or murals and think, oh yeah, I should be able to just do that. But it's years and hours of practice, isn't it? But,
and lots of failure and just messing up.
Yeah, but remember, there's no failure in art. There's just like, it didn't quite turn out how it was planned.
Happy accidents.
Yeah. Absolutely, happy accidents. I bet you've had a few of those, things that, can you tell us about, can you think of a time where you were aiming for something and it turned out better but so different?
Like I recently did a painting for a show down in Geelong, and I think, because ironically enough, I'm still not that great with colour theory, despite my nan's best intentions. So, and I use Hames house paint for most of my large scale paintings, and it was a really interesting process of working out what colours mixed and what didn't mix and what worked, but that, as you mentioned about happy accidents, that the layering of paints as I tried to almost fix my mistakes that actually turned out more effective than what I had originally envisioned.
Yeah, sometimes I think when you really push something at, you get somewhere that you didn't expect. And I think sometimes it's that process of just keeping on going until you get to a point that you're happy with it. But the tricky thing, not going too far.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And you've brought this kangaroo skin in. Can you show us what you've been doing with that?
Certainly. So I work at a local high school, and which has been really good for me in the sense that I get lots of holidays. And I was middle of winter, and I was going to coffee with the fellas in the morning, and I drove past this kangaroo on the side of the road. It was fresh roadkill, and I've always wanted to learn how to skin and tan a kangaroo skin. And as I was driving past it, I was like, all right, if it's still there, it's meant to be. And surprisingly enough, no one really wanted a dead kangaroo on the side of the road. So I came back. It was fresh, and I just learned how to skin and tan it. Yeah.
Wow. So you self-taught?
Yeah, self-taught. Have a feel of it.
Oh, well, you've done a beautiful job of tanning.
Yeah, it was a lot of trial and error. I think I worked out if we were to equate the time into work hours, that would probably be about 2 months worth of full-time work into that.
Yeah, wow.
Into that thing,
So
yeah.
the scraping and then the preparing and stuff.
Yeah.
And then have you tattooed it?
I have, yeah. So,
Wow.
so I've got a small tattoo machine back
Help
home.
me hold that up for the camera. Can you hold the other side?
Yeah, certainly.
We might get a close-up of it later.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so beautiful.
Thank you. But I guess just going back to that idea of the love of the tactile nature of art, this was like, it was just incredible. Like, you know, I'd wake up when the sun came up, I'd work all day, and then I'd just go to bed when the sun went down, and I would just do the same thing over 2 weeks.
Wow. Amazing. So
Thank you.
much hours of work. And this is a beautiful, for those of you that aren't lucky enough to be able to see or feel this, it's really beautifully tanned.
Thanks.
And it's really supple and soft. Like a lot of things, a lot of skins I've seen that have been self-tanned, like, you know, generally sheepskin, they can be pretty hard and crunchy. And so I think you've done a really beautiful job with that. And yeah, wow. Look at, there's a little birdie here.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Thanks. But yeah, it was just fun to make.
Yeah.
Like it was pretty grisly, but I mean, I guess that's the nature of it.
It is, and it's sort of like, I can imagine that sort of, you know, the grisly nature. So is that something that if you see, like, you'll know, like if you've driven one way at night and then you come back in the morning and you see one on the road, you know it's pretty fresh. So, because I think they're easier to skin when they're really fresh
They
too.
are, yeah.
So is that something you want to do again?
Yeah, it's always on my mind. But I'm always a bit nervous about just approaching any old carcass because I mean, unless you know it's fresh, it's been. You know it's
fresh if you drove that way at night and early the next morning it's there.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And it's just time as well. Like I think winter would be the best time for it.
Definitely.
Just because you have more. It's obviously it's cooler, less hot weather.
Yeah. And did you feel a connection with your First Nations heritage when you were working on this?
Yeah, definitely. Like as mentioned before, like my mum is Dutch Aboriginal, so she's a Yorta Yorta Jar Jarung and Taungurung woman, and it really was a pretty special time making this. I mean, it's reconnecting with heritage is always a very complicated affair, but I thought it was really lucky that I had the opportunity to sort of engage in that sort of practice. Yeah. And I know, like, mum reconnected with her culture pretty late in life. Like, it's only been the last 10 years or so that she's really been able to reconnect with those roots. But it's been great for her to lead the way in our family as well. Like our family is quite matriarchal, so it's like Nan, my mum, and my cousin Carissa. They really lead the way in sort of reconnecting with that part of our story. So it's been great being a part of that ride and being able to contribute a small part of that.
Oh, your Nan must be really proud of you.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I reckon she would be. Because anyone who values creativity, like it sounds like she does as a painter, if she's spent, you know, she's taken up painting and sticking with it, it's often a huge sense of pride that the, you know, next generations are taking that on and that you're exploring the cultural side of your creativity as well. Like, I'm sure they're really, I imagine they're pretty proud of you.
Cheers.
But, and you mentioned your father earlier, so, and I believe he's Chinese.
Yep. Yeah, so my dad is Australian-born Chinese. He was born and raised in Bundoora, North Melbourne. And, he never really learnt Cantonese or Mandarin because, you know, he was raised in the era where, you know, it wasn't cool to learn your culture. Like, he has vivid memories of his first day at school with his Humphrey B. Bear flask of noodles, and, you know, he looked to his left and there's a kid with a Vegemite sandwich.
Yep.
And looks to his right, there's a kid with a ham sandwich, and he just and on that day he swore he would never bring noodles to school again because it was so alien to him. But
Not alien to him, alien to everyone else.
Yeah. And yeah, like he's been through a bit, but it's been good for him too. Like I think again, the last few years he's been reconnecting with his, or I guess, yeah, thinking about his culture and where he's come from and where that will take him for the next few years or so. So yeah, but I think for us, for my dad, my brother, and myself, food is a big thing for us. So we'll always go to say Pho or Chinese restaurant to catch up. So that's our way of connecting.
Yeah, food is a big bringer together,
Definitely.
and in that, definitely that tradition. I mean, we've got that weird thing in this country of the Australian Chinese food.
Yeah, honey chicken, lemon chicken, Mongolian beef.
All these
sweet and sour pork.
weird Australian things.
I remember just recently I went to Dubbo for Christmas with some friends of mine and their family, and we stopped by a Chinese restaurant in Kerrang, and I asked for jasmine tea, and they bring us the tea in these big, this big English pot and these big,
mugs.
Western style mugs. I'm thinking this is great. This is awesome. Yeah. No, it was good though. It was good. Yeah.
So you've recently moved into a studio space with some other artists. How did that come about? Can you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah, well, I've definitely been very lucky. Like, it just sort of...
Have you been lucky, or is it this that you're a nice guy and creative and you're making connections with people?
Maybe both. But again, like, I guess doing life with Wes and being able to... Wes has kind of been my into the art scene here in Bendigo, and yeah, it's been really great of him to sort of take me under his wing and just sort of, I mean, less networking but more just being able to be a part of the art scene here. Like he would invite me along to collaborate on a piece that he's invited to make, and just sort of being able to have those conversations with people in those sorts of spaces, and I'm definitely very grateful to sort of be in community and being part of a community that is enthusiastic about art making, and just being very grounded, and just doing art when you can and really enjoying that process.
Yeah. And so can you tell us where the studio is?
Yep. So I'm a part of Hargrave Studios. That is in Hargraves Mall in the centre of Bendigo. Yep.
So you're upstairs in what used to be a dental office?
Yeah, so it was an old dentist space that had been abandoned for about 20 years or so. And it's been really interesting, actually. Like, I've mentioned it to a few people here and there, and any older person will go, oh yeah, I remember, like, I used to go there to get my teeth done. Oh, I used to work there. And it's been really cool engaging with that side of Bendigo's history and rebuilding it into something different. So
not so many people screaming having fillings done.
No, less of that, hopefully.
And more beautiful creative stuff happening.
Yeah. But we're the first wave of artists to come through the studio. So we were tearing up all the lino, repainting all the walls. Chris Duffy, Nathan Dimples, they played a big part in, basically gutting the kitchenettes and making it into more of a usable space. Yeah. But it's been great.
Yeah, it's a great looking space. It's it looks like you're going to have a really good creative time.
Yeah, thanks.
In there.
Yeah. Actually, I do have a fun, it's a pretty good memory. I was in there by myself. I was tearing up the lino to redo the floor, and I get a text from my mate saying, "Oh, hey Jed, where are you? I'll come check out your studio." And he rocks up with his mate, and we hang out, and they just pick up a crowbar and they start helping me with the lino. And then two more friends come and they start helping me, and then two more friends come, and and so there's about 7 of us now in this tiny room, just all tearing up this lino and helping out. And that was pretty special.
Yeah, it would have taken you a week without 7 times the labour.
Yep.
Awesome.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. So this lovely space that you use, are you sharing that with anyone?
Yep. So I share it with an artist called Raven Jane. So she's a digital, a digital and mixed media artist, and yeah, she does some pretty incredible stuff. And
what are you hoping to create in the studio space?
Yeah, it's not a super large space, so I think I really would like to make more small scale stuff in there, like maybe more printmaking, more crafts. Hopefully some painting. One show I am part of this year, hopefully. It's being created by Ivan's son. He's a local curator. He's hosting a show that combines both Mexican artists and local artists to exhibit work in response to the Frida Kahlo exhibition happening this year. Yep.
Wow, where's that going to be?
I think for the first few months it'll be at Amari, so it starts in March, and then I think the last 2 weeks will be at Dudley House. Yep.
Oh, sounds great. And yeah, perfect. Like people all go park up in that car park and walk past Dudley House to go and see Frida Kahlo. So have you been thinking about what you'd like to create in response to her work?
Yeah, so I think the premise of the exhibition will be that the Mexican artists will present their work, and then the local artists will pick one of the Mexican artists to respond to.
Ah, nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I look forward to seeing that. That sounds really interesting. And just thinking about some of your work that I've seen and your use of flowers, and I think that I can see some sort of little resonance there. Like you can riff off Frida a bit as well as the Mexican artist that you are paired with to create a response to.
Definitely.
Because, I've seen that little floral motif both in some of your photographic work and in your prints as well.
Thanks.
So I think there's, and whenever I think of Frida, I do think of flowers and all that beautiful Mexican adornment that she used really strongly in her work.
Yeah, thanks.
So
I'm definitely very interested in, I guess, promoting a national. Very interested in fostering a sense of identity here in Australia, and just, I was raised overseas, and it was definitely interesting, I guess, being over there and being Australian, but like not really knowing what that was, and then coming back and go, okay, I'm Australian, but there's this, and this, and Australia is such a multicultural country, but I'm still really. I'm passionate about sort of exploring and celebrating, Australia's, natural landscape and the culture here, and, really, I guess, making it fun, I suppose.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds great. You've got a lot within your own cultural makeup and identity to draw on, as well as your life experiences. So you lived in Laos for how long?
5 years.
5 years, as a child?
Yep. Yeah, so my parents worked in Laos for 5 years when I was 3 and my younger brother was 1. So when I was over there, my wardrobe was exclusively a fluoro green Scooby-Doo t-shirt, short shorts and Spider-Man thongs. And then I come back here, I have to learn how to, I have to find out what shoelaces are and sneakers, because you just don't need them over there, and everything's cold, everything's grey, and
it's very different, isn't it? And did your family move to Bendigo or Melbourne for a while first, and then Bendigo?
Yeah, so Melbourne, then Bendigo.
Yeah, that's great. And I know that you're involved with the Old Church on the Hill community, and maybe you're going to be doing some art stuff there. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so I run an art space every third Sunday of the month at the Old Church on the Hill. So that's 10 till 12. And that's just a space for anyone who comes along to bring their coffee and just hang out and just make art.
Okay, and so Do you provide materials, Jed, or
Yep.
do people bring something they're working on? How does that work?
Yeah, so we provide materials, paper, pencils, watercolour, paint. But if you want to bring something along to work on, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if people have got questions about that or maybe a bit nervous about whether to come, like do they need to give you a call or how does that work?
Just show
turn
up. Bring yourself.
Yep, third Sunday of the month.
Yep.
Might have to come.
I reckon.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
It's a lovely space. Do you do it in the dining hall or in the hall?
In Barker Hall, yep.
Yep.
In the stage space.
In the stage space.
Yeah.
So is the community closet still in there at the moment?
Yeah, but I think they run at different times.
Yeah. But the clothes are still up there or not?
Yep, they're still there.
So don't bring your aerosol spray cans.
No, don't do that. No Pollux.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds good. That's a great thing. So you're just doing that voluntarily?
Yep.
So you're currently tutoring English at Crusoe College. Yep. You're doing your Masters in Education so that you can be an art teacher?
Yep, that's right? Correct.
And you've got your studio space, and then every third Sunday of the month you're voluntarily running an art space. Yep. And you also go out and help your art mates with murals and other things. When do you sleep, Jed?
Oh, whenever I can.
Yeah.
Whenever I can. I sleep pretty well. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, I'm just really grateful that I can be a part of this community. I think what's really important for me, and I'm sure other people will attest to this, just being an artist within the community. Like, we're not made to live in a void, and community is messy, and that's okay, because I think that's where friendships and relationships are strengthened, and where I think the best art can come from. Just that messiness of being with other people.
Yeah.
And disagreeing with them, and also being okay with that.
Some of the best conversations and ideas come out of those kind of at times heated and passionate discussions, don't they?
Yeah.
And like the different perspectives and points of view.
Yeah.
So, Jed, you seem really well connected. You've got a great studio space and you've got a really lovely community of artists around you. You've got your strong family ties. But what other support do you think would help you as a young artist in Bendigo? Like, do you feel like there's any way that Mav could help you, or other things that you think would help other young artists?
I think projects like this are really good. Like, I think it's a really special thing when an organisation like Mav or even individuals take an interest in up and coming artists, not even necessarily young artists, but just people who are just getting started into this whole bright, wonderful world of art, and just thinking, what the heck's going on? But it's I think it's been good being a part of this project and seeing what people can do to, I guess, promote people's practice, and also have that conversation with them that what makes them tick and why they do what they do.
Yeah. Have you found that an interesting process, that just thinking about, just anticipating this conversation and thinking about your own motivations for creating? Has that been interesting for you?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think I'm naturally an overthinker by nature, but this project's been pretty good, I guess, in refining the discussion and sort of directing the conversation to a really good point.
So, Jed, we spoke a little bit about your nana. Can you tell me her name and tell me a bit more about her painting?
Yeah, for sure. So my nana, her artist name is Beryl Gay, and she was trained in the way of the old masters. So what that means is that she's a classically trained artist, and she does lots of landscapes, charcoal, pencil, and she just does these gorgeous landscapes. And one particular favourite of mine, I think I sent it to you, was a painting of this place called Bear Gully, which is a small campground in Wilson's Prom. So the story behind that is that when my mum was younger, her nana and all of her family would go down there over the summer and just live there. They would bring all their water down and they would hunt or collect all their food. And yeah, like there are lots of great stories in the family that come from Bear Gully. So like my Uncle Barry, he's this 5 foot nothing, wiry Indij fella. He would go abalone diving, and every night they would just have fresh abalone. Yeah.
And did you get to go there as well, or is that stories you've been told?
Only a few times, but yeah, like it was definitely, the stories were before my time. Yeah.
It's great. Well, I've loved talking to you. It's been really interesting.
Likewise.
So thanks for coming in. It's been really great to get to know you a little bit, and I'm looking forward to seeing that show, the Mexican kind of call and response show, and what other works that you come up with in future. And I reckon I'll be dropping in to Old Church and coming to the art group. It sounds like a lot of fun and a great way to meet other people.
Definitely. Thanks, Forrest.
No, thank you.